a podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Dave X Media.
Percy Jackson, Poseidon announced. My name echoed around the chamber. All talking died down. The room was silent except for the crackle of the hearth fire. Everyone's eyes were on me, all the gods, the demigods, the cyclopes, the spirits. I walked into the middle of the throne room. Hestia smiled at me reassuringly. She was in the form of a girl now, and she seemed happy and content to be sitting by her fire again. Her smile gave me the courage to keep walking. First, I bowed to Zeus. Then I knelt at my father's feet. "Rise, my son," Poseidon said.
All right, welcome to Of the Eldest Gods, where we discuss Rick Riordan's role as our godly parents.
I'm Raye from Cabin 12.
And I'm Charlie from Cabin 13.
And I'm Matt from Cabin 12.
Yay,
Hey, Matt.
siblings.
We love Dionysus kids on this pod.
We do.
How's our patron god of the pod treating you? Is he recognizing you as his child now?
He loves me.
I'm
Aww.
so glad.
He says my name correctly.
I'm so glad. He doesn't say my
Finally.
name correctly, but I'm fine with being called Chuck, so that's fine. Same difference. I feel like I would just also call Dionysus the wrong name. Like you don't get my name right, I'm not gonna get your name right.
You are so gonna get turned into a grapevine.
I feel like that's what 18-year-old Percy will do. 18-year-old Percy is like, okay, fuck it. I'm gonna just call you something else.
Yeah, now that we know he'll age up to 18 possibly. Hey!
Maybe.
Good for him.
We'll ever let it happen.
Come on,
Rick
Rick.
Riordan is still just like...
Give my boy a break.
And will forever be 17.
Just like
Hello,
Tim Drake.
17. A while.
My boy.
Oh my goodness. Matt, you chose the chapter of all chapters. The
I did.
reason why we here on this podcast, I think.
Yep, this chapter is the whole point of the whole story. All 5 books comes to this.
We made it. Okay, well, if we're gonna get into it, I'm getting into it.
What is the chapter? What did we read?
We win fabulous prizes.
Is it true?
Yeah, it is true.
Insert,
that is very
slot
true.
machine.
Great chapter title. Very true. I'm calling it Percy tells the gods that they're deadbeats.
Valid. We stand.
Yo!
We do stand Percy Jackson. Anyways, okay.
The fact that they keep trying to butt in and be like, wait, hold on. Excuse me, sir. And he's just like, no, y'all are deadbeats. Fuck up.
Y'all are gonna sit down and listen.
Y'all are gonna learn some truth.
You swore.
So the Fates take Luke's body away, and we're very sad about that, especially Hermes. Everybody else who wasn't already dead is basically fine, which is good to know. The gods have a meeting, and Zeus tells everybody how grateful he is for their help, no matter how much it pains him. The fabulous prizes commence. Thalia gets her fallen comrades into Elysium. Tyson gets to be a general, and he gets a new big stick. So, he is living large.
As if he didn't already have one.
It's a new one, though.
A new one.
State-of-the-art sticks.
We love that.
Grover gets a seat on the Cloven Council and passes out.
I
mean,
He
me
passes
too,
out
buddy.
into the arms of beautiful women, so, it's fine.
It's fine. And Annabeth gets to be Olympus's new architect. Very exciting.
She did it.
Percy is acknowledged as the great hero of the war or whatever, so he gets to pick his own gift, which they just kind of assume is going to be immortality. And instead he tells them off for causing all these problems in the first place and makes them promise to raise their damn kids. That's it. That's the chapter.
Pay your child support checks.
Literally.
Love
Just send
that.
your kid a letter every once in a while. That's all he's asking for.
Recognize your child as your child.
Yeah,
That's it.
Percy's thinking back on that 2-word letter from Poseidon, be prepared. And he's just like, that more kids need 2-word letters from their godly parents.
I mean, yeah.
That's it. That's all they need.
Literally, you have to talk to your kid one time so that they know that they're your child. That's it.
There you go. You guys did it.
Do the bare minimum.
I've just discovered a plot hole in Percy Jackson. Why don't their other parents tell them who their godly parent is? I feel like most of them know.
Oh, you assume too much. You assume too much. I think the thing is, Sally knows because she can see through the mist.
No, that's true.
Sally could have told him, but she was probably just like, you need to find out for yourself or some bullshit. But the other ones, maybe they don't actually know.
Maybe they straight up do not know. Okay, that is a thought. And my other thought is that, like, it's not like Ethan Nakamura didn't know who his parent was. It's just that there was literally no place to go except for the crowded Hermes cabin, and T wanted more recognition than that. Like, even if they know, the system was not made to accommodate minor gods' children anyways.
And who's to say some of these parents even know that they are fucking gods?
I think that's what it is. I think a lot of them don't know.
I think all the gods know that they're gods. No, I get what you're saying.
No,
it took
what
me a
if the
second
mortal parents don't know they're
Yeah, I thought that's what you were saying in the
God.
first place. Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, no, they could know that they're fucking a god, and they're just like, I don't know which one it is. They didn't tell me their real name.
See, that seems weirder to me. Like, if they know they're a god, why wouldn't they just say who they are? But I would assume that some of them are just, like, doing one-night stands in the bar.
My assumption is, like, the Annabeth, like, Athena thing. Like, maybe her dad didn't know it was Athena until she told him. Who knows?
See, that has never occurred to me. That seems weird.
I don't know. This is a theory. This is
That's valid.
Trying to figure out and extrapolate, like, why the parents don't tell. Like, I think I fucked a god. I'm not actually sure. It got very ethereal for a minute there, and then I got a baby. Yeah. Or they were just like, oh, that's the one that got away. They just left, and they left me with the child, I guess.
They left me saddled as a single parent. With no help.
The gods suck. Anyways.
Thanks for listening to The Eldest God. Now.
Why am I now just imagining, like, Annabeth is, like, being left on the doorstep as, like, the way that, like, the children in Whoville in the Grinch movie were left on their parents' doorsteps? That. Why is that the imagery that came into my brain? It's like,
I think that's it.
Annabeth as the Grinch child being left on those old ladies' doorstep. Like...
Fanfic coming soon.
Anyway, this is just things that happened with my brain. I wanted to share with y'all.
I see how it is.
Not even the stork. Forget the stork. That's not important here. What's important is the Grinch. Okay. I'm gonna talk about some myth stuff, if that's okay with y'all.
Yeah, please do.
Myth me.
I'm gonna do it. I shall myth you. Okay? So in case you myth did, let's talk about the Styx, because, like, hey, we had to invoke her name in this chapter, because you gotta swear your damn oaths, my dudes.
I love that he got them to promise before he told them what it was.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love that.
It's smart.
Of course.
It's like, our boy finally actually learned something from his previous adventures. He's been burned too many times.
This is the charisma stat going very high again,
It's a nat 20.
I don't know that I can't argue about charisma with you again. Move on. Tell me about the Styx.
Forever. So Styx. Did you know her name means shuddering? I don't know why that's important, but it is. So Styx, also known as the River Styx, is both a goddess and a river. Did you know that? She is the river.
So powerful.
She is the river. I mean, like, there's nymphs for all these things, Why couldn't she also be a goddess, right? So she is the child of Oceanus and Tethys, our important titans who, like, birth a lot of people. Possibly. Sometimes she's also maybe the daughter of Nyx and Erebus. The goddess of night and the god of darkness and all that shit. She is the wife of the Titan Pallas, which,
He's a real pal.
Real pal. One of the possible namesakes for why Athena's called Pallas as well. Because like I said, there's like 50 of those. And look at that, she's got many children. Zealous, Bia, Kratos, Nike.
Man, she birthed
Kratos
the shoe company
from God of War.
I love Kratos from God of War.
That's what my brain went to. I'm just like, oh look, it's Kratos from God of War.
Wow, Kratos, great to see you, buddy.
He's the son of Styx. Did you know that? The river Styx.
Good for him.
But also fucking Nike.
Yeah,
Gal.
It's always exciting to see Nike in places. I feel like that's just a little bit of trivia that like everybody knows now.
I love her. Okay, she's just like, I'm the goddess of victory. I get to sit in Athena's hand all the time. It's pretty cool. So because she sided with Zeus in the first Titan War, Zeus had to honor her, and so every oath had to be sworn on her waters. So, hey, it's literally like a thing.
I love that.
Rick didn't make this shit up. It's actually canon. Yeah, she's the goddess of oaths. Homer calls her the Dread River of Oath. We love that.
Such a powerful description.
The greatest and most dread oath for the blessed gods. Ooh, we love swearing oaths on this river. Okay, she's important, man. I don't know what she does other than being a river, but she's important. She was just like, yeah, I guess I'll side with Zeus. And Zeus is like, whoa, she's important. Guys, swear oaths on her. On her waters. I don't know, man. God, now I'm just gonna get down by the river from Baldur's Gate stuck in my head now. Oh my goodness. Okay, lots of stuff about oaths. Because it's here in Homer, it's here in the Theogony. Yeah. It's even Ovid. Ovid's got it. Everybody's got this. This is important shit, guys. What are we swearing though? Like, okay.
I mean, we swear a lot, but
yes, we swear on this podcast. I understand that, but I'm like, what oaths are we swearing? Okay, so Zeus,
like specific ones.
Yeah, what is he swearing? It just says that he's promising something to Semele. Oh, okay, wait. My brain had to remember who Semele was, and I'm like, yep, okay, that's right. Dionysus' mom, when he promised her that he would show her his divine form. Right.
Oops.
Well, oopsie. That's how we got Dionysus in the thigh.
This is why you don't make promises before you hear what they are.
True. I mean, Percy made a good decision to do the thing, but also the gods are dumb.
The gods should know better.
They should at this point.
It just further proves the gods never learn. We know this.
Yeah. Also the whole thing with Phaethon. Remember our good pal Phaethon? He drove the sun chariot. Yeah, that was like a promise from his dad on the River Styx.
Seems like normally this doesn't work out for people.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't really.
They never learn.
It's like breaking the oath has like lots of punishments, it says here, but also like going through with the oath seems to have dire consequences too. Okay, let me read this paragraph.
I was just skimming over it.
And about, like, breaking the oath. For whoever of the deathless gods that holds the peaks of snowy Olympus pours a libation of her water and is forsworn, must lie breathless until a full year is completed, and never come near to taste ambrosia and nectar, but lie spiritless and voiceless on a strewn bed, and a heavy trance overshadows him. But when he has spent a long year in his sickness, another penance for more hard follows after the first. For 9 years he is cut off from the eternal gods, and never joins their councils or their feasts. 9 full years. But in the 10th year he comes again to join the assemblies of the deathless gods who live in the house of Olympus.
So you have 9 years and you can't hang out with anybody. I mean, is it even that bad? Okay.
Sounds kind of ideal.
Spiritless and voiceless.
You're sick for a year. You're sick for a year. You're bedridden. Not ideal. You are a god, though, is what I'm saying. They're already doing this shit to Dionysus. He has 50 years without having any wine, and he has to hang out with children, so, like...
Yeah, it seems like sick for a year, and then 9 more years you're just, like, not allowed to hang out with the gods. So
the gods just have to do a decade of being vaguely uncomfortable?
Yeah.
I don't know about all that.
What you do is you get really into video games, and you just chill and just chill.
That sounds really great, actually. I wish I was immortal and playing video games for 9 years.
You just do it. You don't hang out with anybody. You're just gonna be like chilling there on your computer for 9 years.
Hell yeah.
Don't hang out with nobody. That's it.
I mean, I would get lonely.
The first year sucks. The first year is just my life, but
bedridden.
Bedridden and sick. Hey, we love it.
So, we should keep this in mind, in case anybody breaks their eternal oath that they made to Percy Jackson. This is what they should be doing now.
Yep. Uh-huh.
That's something to remember for the future.
You think it'll actually come to pass? In that exact way?
Yeah, we'll have to see. If anybody would dare break their eternal oath on the river Styx to Percy Jackson.
Would not be surprising.
Yeah, that's at least what Hesiod says about it. Nobody else, I think, says what would happen to you. Oh well.
Yeah, so that's one guy who made that up. Basically, you're just not supposed to break it.
Yeah, don't break it. Bad shit will happen. Unknown what it will be. She's a river. There's a whole thing about her being a river. She's a river. It's good to know.
Because it is a real river, right?
It's a river in the underworld, yeah. It's the river Styx. It's where Achilles, bathed in. Is that river? Because
I know that there's at least one river that's in the underworld that, is also in the real world in Greece. I don't know if it was this one.
Oh, there's a few of them, I think, that are...
They're talking about the Arcadian Styx further down here, and I'm trying to figure out...
The Styx, along with the Coctus and the Acheron.
Okay, yeah.
Waterways in the upper worlds.
Okay.
The Acheron is, specifically has a page, about where it is in Greece.
Mm-hmm.
So,
you never hear about the Acheron. I only ever heard about it in that one album that we listened to.
So sometimes it really depends which river they want to choose for Charon to have people pass, and sometimes it is the Acheron because, like I said, it's a real river in the world. So sometimes it's the entrance to the underworld, and then so it seems like originally it was the Acheron that Charon ferried the souls across, but then
the Styx got more popular.
The Romans were gonna blame for the Styx.
Okay.
Being more popular.
Stupid Romans.
Fuck them Romans.
Fuck Rome.
Oh well. Just fuck all of Rome.
Just fuck all of Rome.
I mean,
fuck that Roman Empire, my dudes.
Thinking about burning the Roman Empire.
What's your Roman Empire?
The destruction of Rome.
When was the fall of the Roman Empire? I don't know. It happened 5 times, guys.
Damn.
Yeah, more usually it's the Acheron.
Oh, there's a moon named after it.
Of course there is. Why wouldn't there be? Listen, she cool.
I love
Pluto. She doesn't do a lot, but she's pretty cool for just existing, okay?
Yeah. I mean, not a bad legacy to have. All right.
So
are you ready?
Yeah. I guess I'm ready. I guess I could be. I was gonna say my last thing was that hey, look, this was in Cupid and Psyche. Psyche had to fetch some water from the river Styx. It was one of her impossible trials for her future mother-in-law. Don't we love that?
The mother-in-law hate really does spread back eons and eons.
It really does. Okay, well, let's talk about this fucking chapter where we just I love that we're just completing everybody's arcs here. That's what this is.
Yeah, it is.
Tying everything up.
And a neat little bow. And then we still have 2 more chapters after this.
We have talked before about whether Rick seemed like he was planning on making another book series, and we decided that based on the timeline, he must have been, because, that shit started coming out real fucking fast.
It did.
But, it is almost disappointing to me. like, given, like, how well this book ends. Like, we're not even at the ending yet, but, like, I mean, I could be perfectly satisfied with this being the ending for these characters, you know?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we didn't even get to sit with it for, any reasonable length of time. It was less than a year later. Oh, here's another book.
Right?
We're moving on.
Yeah, I feel like, so, like, the period of time between the books coming out felt like so long to me, because, like, I read them all.
Oh,
and
yeah,
they were
when you're
all
a
out at that
child,
point.
that shit
Oh, yeah.
forever.
When you're a child, and then they're all out at that point, and you can read them all, and you just keep reading them over and over and over again, and then it's just like, when is the next book coming out? It's like, look, there's an announcement. Rick is gonna make a new series, and it's gonna be in the same world, but Percy's probably not gonna be in it. Oh well, whatever. It's not important. But, like, it's the next Camp Half-Blood Chronicles series. Yeah, it felt like so long.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, hey, look, we're seeing the Fates again for the first time since, like, chapter 2.
Chapter 2 or 3 of the first book. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we finally get to talk about whose string they cut. Guess what? It wasn't Percy's string. He didn't die.
I love this so much, because, like, here's this thing that happened that you absolutely forgot happened.
Because it was like chapter 2 or 3. And it was a little thing, and Percy never thought about it again. Because he's an ADHD child. He has object permanence issues. We all know it.
I feel like I was thinking about that forever, because that did not ever pay off.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, but Percy sure wasn't.
No, because he was just like, I have too many other things to think about. Like, my life is chaotic.
He's too busy trying to stay alive.
Staying alive.
You know, I have talked about, I'm obsessed with talking about Percy Jackson's suicidality. And I feel like he just kind of assumed, like, it's Blue. That was probably me. I'm not gonna make it, man.
It was mine. Oh.
And just, like, being okay with that and, like, not really thinking about it because it worries him.
I want to know if, like, I really want to know more about the Fates and this, like, giant socks that they were sewing that day. Like,
you see,
like,
no,
who
okay.
else's life strings were in there? Was that everybody's life strings?
The socks are a metaphor. It's just the tapestry of fate that they weave.
But they're also real, because it's Percy Jackson, so it's a metaphor, but it's also real metaphor. It's also literal at the same time. I feel
like if they take the socks off, if they ever finish the socks, then the world ends. So, like, I don't think that they're allowed to.
No, I don't think the world ends. I think we just don't get more people, or maybe we start a new generation of people.
I don't know.
Possibly.
I don't know. See,
wear the socks?
I don't like imagining what happens to the socks when they're done, so I'm just saying that never happens.
Why are they blue?
Just cause.
They just yeet the socks into chaos every couple of centuries.
It's like, here you go, here's a new pair of socks. Oh, thanks, the old ones wore out.
That's exactly right.
So
yeah.
I like Percy's life flashing before his eyes, in the forwards instead of backwards, like usually they mean when they say that. Deeply fascinating. Wonder if Rick will ever let that happen to him.
Will he ever turn 20? Huh?
At this point, I'd take him turning 18.
Yeah, exactly.
Poor boy.
I find it interesting that he's seen that, because Percy never really seems like he's good at thinking about, like, growing up or the future, and, you would think that this would be reassuring for him in kind of some ways, but
It's probably reassuring in the moment, and then later it's just like, whatever. Keep trying to survive.
I could always die a horrible death any day now.
Hey, you know what? He's imagining a coffin in the ground. He's not imagining
a burial shroud. Okay, yeah, I thought that was really weird, actually, because everybody else gets burial shrouds, and they burn them.
Rick, what's going on here?
Yeah,
is different from the rest of your world.
Is he American? Is he Christian now? Is Percy Christian now?
Is it maybe you only get a burial shroud if you die in battle?
Yeah, if you die a warrior's death.
Whereas if you die
he dies of old age.
He dies of old age, so he gets a coffin.
Would Percy do a coffin, or would he, like, do the ashes?
No, he would want his ashes thrown into the sea. Guaranteed he'd want to be in the sea.
I can't imagine Percy wanting to, be buried. That seems weird to me, somehow.
No, he'd be like, I want to, like, return my body to the universe or something. Come on. Right?
Take my ash, Dad.
And I feel like Annabeth would still, like, have, like, a whole, like, mausoleum, even if she had her ashes, like, spread out somewhere. She'd be like, no, I need, like, a permanent, like, thing.
Yeah.
Even if, like...
It doesn't need to be, like, a burial monument, but it needs to be a monument to Annabeth. It needs to be something she designed. A monument
with, like, a plant...
Aww.
That like you know, like the ashes that grow into like a plant or something. Because
I've always wanted to do that. I feel like that seems like a good idea.
I think that'd be great because then you have Grover mixed in, right? Like the three of them all buried together. Anyway,
I don't know about that. Seems a little fucked up to me, but
you're welcome. You're welcome. We've thought about this too hard now.
Dead Percy grows a new Grover.
This is also a tangent. They always act like this is their first life whenever they're talking about, like, trying for Elysium, and I always think that that's weird. Like, what if you're on your third life already? You don't know, you know?
Like,
I just think that's weird.
Well, I think that's the nature of it. You have to assume that it's the first time because you don't know.
What if Percy was the original Perseus?
Damn, that'd be wild.
Yeah.
I would kind of hate it if Rick told us that was true. I don't want that.
I feel like that would not work just because I feel like a son of Zeus could never be reborn as a son of Poseidon. I feel like there's some law of the universe that just says absolutely not.
Then he gets reincarnated a third time, and then he's a son of Hades.
That's just complete the trifecta.
Exactly.
He did that on purpose. He's like, I'm trying for all three guys. Wish me luck.
He's the new Avatar.
Okay, let's move on.
So the snippet of yarn, it was Luke's life. It was Luke's all along. They showed him Luke is gonna die. You don't know who Luke is yet, but he's gonna die. And he's like, what the fuck? So I have a question. I know we've already watched the show, but now we can talk about it.
Yeah, finally.
Finally, we can talk about the moment in the show where this happens, where the old ladies cut the string. Annabeth instead is the one who sees it.
Mm-hmm.
Is it still Luke?
I would assume yes.
I would think yes.
I think that's a fascinating choice.
Is it her choice this time?
What?
I think it means more. I think it would mean more if Annabeth sees it as Luke because Annabeth knows Luke. So when assume at the end of the fifth season where they figure it out and learn that it was Luke's string, I think that just like adds an extra gut punch after Luke dies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but does that mean it's going to be her choice instead, maybe?
It can't be, because Percy's the child of prophecy, and if he doesn't get to do that, then, like, what's he even doing here? Why is he important?
I think it's interesting that she's the one being shown it instead of him.
Right. Emotionally, it's more relevant, but narratively, it has to be Percy. So,
And, like, in the moment in the series, it was also interesting that Annabeth was seeing that when she thought maybe Percy was gonna die in that moment. So, like, it made sense for what was happening at the time, but does it make sense narratively for the whole thing?
Well, maybe you'll have maybe it'll be something where she realizes before, like telling Percy to give Luke the knife or something where Annabeth will realize and put it together. It's like, oh, this is what that was.
Yeah, that would definitely work because that's kind of the feeling of that scene anyways.
Yeah.
And it also gives the opportunity in future seasons for Annabeth to be like, oh, is this when Percy's going to die? Like in season 4 with Battle of the Labyrinth under the volcano. Like, I feel like that's a big one where you could call back to that and be like, oh, I saw the string. Percy's going to die.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting that she... if she does always think that maybe it's Percy's string that she saw caught, like whose string does she think it could be? I don't know. Anyway, that's more for like TV show stuff, but
it's something fun to think about. Something fun to think about.
Yeah, I'm excited to see if and what they do with that.
Yeah, so Hermes is sad, because Luke is in his, white and green shroud.
Look at my son!
God damn it. It's quiet uptown.
So I don't listen to most of Hamilton, but I know the reference because I keep seeing that.
Oh my god!
Ellen, like, I see, like, TikToks or, like, reels of that all the time now. Because it's Lynn.
Incredible.
And that's his son.
Yeah. We got it.
I'm glad.
That was the first thing when I reread the chapter. I saw that Hermes murmured an ancient Greek blessing. I'm like, are we going to get Lin-Manuel singing a blessing at the end of this?
If he doesn't sing in the entire series and he's like Hermes consistently, I don't know what we're doing here. Like, I don't know. Listen, Hermes is the reason that Apollo is the god of music, okay?
This is true.
Okay? He gave him the lyre. He gave it to him. All right.
George and Martha are sad about Luke also, which
you know
that
what?
gets me in my
you
little,
know what
my little
I'm sad about?
heartstrings.
I'm sad about May Castellan.
Yes, this line. May Castellan alone in her kitchen, baking cookies and making sandwiches for a son who would never come home. Man, fuck that.
Like, it was already emo enough when it's like, oh yeah, Kratos has taken over his body. He may never come back. But now it's like, no, he's like actually actively dead.
Like,
now.
Is she gonna be at his funeral? Like, damn.
I think this is it. I think this is the funeral. Like,
well, they're just taking him away. They haven't burned him yet.
I don't know.
I feel like that's a very real thought, especially for like an ADHD teenager. It's just kind of bouncing around. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah. So things about the Great Prophecy. Hero's soul, cursed blade. The hero's Luke. It wasn't Percy. Like, just the hero from that line specifically is Luke. Percy is still a hero. Percy is still the hero of the Great Prophecy because he did a lot of good shit and saved Olympus.
In case any of you listening were concerned, Percy is still a hero. Don't worry.
It's just, when Rachel said he wasn't the hero, she just meant that specific instance in the prophecy. The hero's soul, cursed blade shall reap. That's not you.
She didn't say you're not a hero. She said you're not the hero. There's a distinction there.
You're not the one who's gonna die. Okay, Percy? Rachel, why couldn't you have specified?
Yeah, come on.
He's just like, I'm not the hero?
Have better vision.
Yeah. Was a knife.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that, the curse prophecy isn't about, like, any one person. It's just telling you stuff that's gonna happen. And I think it's silly that we all assumed. We all just assumed.
Well, I think that's
all about the one guy.
It's the design of, like, the beginning, because the beginning of the prophecy is all about this half-blood of the oldest gods who's going to turn 16. And, like, the whole first half of the prophecy is all about this one circumstance coming to fruition.
And then we just kind of switch it up on you.
And then everything else is just, and here's a bunch of other stuff that's going to happen involving other people.
Yeah, it's all just because, like, hey, guess what? When a half-blood of the oldest gods finally is able to turn 16, like, live that long, all of this other shit will happen. That's all it means.
Which is good. That's really good writing from Rick. It's such a, like, it's very realistic to have all the characters believe, like the readers do, that it's just everything's about Percy. So it's a really good and real misdirect.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't feel forced.
Yeah, exactly. So the reason why it's like the cursed blade is like, well, yeah, Luke
was
supposed to be a family to Annabeth. Family, Luke, you promised.
Okay, so what it tells us here is that Annabeth was also Luke's anchor, and that when, like, Hestia showed Percy the vision of Thalia and Annabeth and Luke, like, being a family together. And, like, that's the image that he would have held in his brain. And that makes me feel things. That makes me very sad.
You're welcome. I'm glad.
I'm very excited that the show has gone, like, explicitly familial with Annabeth and Luke.
Yes, I'm so glad they cleared that up so early.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if Luke was saying, did you like me romantically? Like, no.
Did you like me romantically when you were 7? Did you love me when you were 7?
I don't know about all that, buddy.
I was 14.
Yeah.
Ugh, the ick. Yeah, so.
But, like, there's no implication of that here, which is interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know? It's really just that one scene that, like, makes it weird. I don't know.
And then it's, like, the fact that she reminded him of, like, the promise and all of that wakes him back up. Hey, he saved us.
Nice of Rick to clear all this up for the readers. We were, like, in middle school. We didn't know what was happening. We just a little page here just to tell you all the stuff that happened last chapter.
Yep, good shit.
It's like, in case you didn't figure it out, here you go.
Yeah,
I love that he, like, that Luke's Achilles heel, like his, not the physical weakness, but like the emotional, mental weakness is what saved the day. I think that's such a fun way to take it.
Yeah. All right, so Annabeth passes out because, like, emotions and everything, and also
she has a broken arm.
Right.
It's fine.
Yeah. Her knees buckle because she's exhausted, she's not doing well, and then, yeah.
It's fine. Apollo is healing her. He's looking mighty fine in his armor and his Ray-Bans.
A male model.
Absolutely. Would we fuck Apollo?
I mean, a lot of people would.
If it has no consequences down the line.
I would. Absolutely.
I'm glad.
He does have himbo energy.
Exactly.
He wrote a poem, Apollo and His Friends Save Olympus. Great poem, I love it. To the point.
We love it. So we're on Olympus for a few hours, I guess. And hey, look, Percy says, Zeus, can you light the Empire State Building blue? Don't ask questions. I just need it blue. And
Zeus is
like,
totally
sure.
fine with that. Yeah, he just does it.
Count as his request.
I can't believe Zeus didn't try and be like, oh, you had your request. That was it.
Yeah, that was your gift. Great job, Percy.
Yeah, but nay, Sally knows he's alive. Good. We're not going to see her in this chapter because she's not allowed on Olympus. Everybody else, they come back slowly as the gods, like, rebuild their throne room a little bit. Just enough.
Mm-hmm. Well, they kind of need that to be in tip-top shape. So that they don't die or whatever.
Everybody comes, and then Rachel is apparently gone. She just, like, left.
Hey, Rachel?
Red, what are you doing?
She's got to be mysterious as all shit, because that's her
So
vibe.
she's not in this chapter, because she literally just left. I mean, also, she's not allowed on Olympus either, but...
Would she have gotten a prize?
I mean, she did help.
Hey, Nico and Hades got heroes welcomes? Don't we love that?
Love it.
I love this section. Just, like, everybody, like, being cool and, like, very familial before the meeting starts.
I have concerns about the Clarice moment, because, like...
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Ares. Okay. So Ares comes over to Clarice and says, that's my girl, and ruffles her hair and pounds her back, and she seems, like, very uncomfortable at first, and then she starts enjoying it. I feel like Rick gets the complexity of, like, having a parent who you want to be proud of you, but who's like a piece of shit. Yeah, he is abusive. It straight up says here, she looks like she's afraid he's gonna start hitting her, and then she relaxes. Like, I feel like there are people who are gonna relate to that. Of being like, I want this connection with this person because they are my parent, but they're a piece of shit also.
Yeah, fun times.
Well, it's also interesting, like, how much of Ares, like, Ares is a piece of shit, but how much worse does it seem because we're getting it through Percy's perspective, and Percy and Ares have a huge beef.
No, that's true, but
we did already see.
We have seen, like, conversations, but at least one conversation between them that was not good or cool. And also, he's sexist, so get rid of the whole man.
We literally said, just, like, destroy Ares' throne, like, just that one. Everyone else can stay, I guess.
Yeah,
but,
blast
like, Ares,
that one.
Fuck him.
So, like, I feel like if Clarice wants to have a relationship with him, who am I to say that she can't? So,
Yeah.
but also, we need some checks and balances. We need to tell this man that he needs to change his behavior, or else he shouldn't be around his kids. I don't know. I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, parenthood is fucking complicated as fuck.
Yeah.
And
it certainly is.
Yeah. I feel like we don't really get into the nuance here, but, like, I can feel the nuance in the background. Like,
yeah.
Of, like, loving a parent and knowing that they're not good for you.
So we get Hephaestus, who's like a little grumpy about the
chair thing,
throne thing, but he's like, yeah, it's fine. Hera's like, I guess I can't kill Annabeth.
Yeah, Hera, what the fuck? Literally, I hate her.
Like, all you had to do was not say anything, and you chose to open your mouth.
We could also destroy Hera's throne and Zeus's thrones, I guess. it's like 3 out of the 12 who I'd be.
It's a good number.
Fine with.
Yeah, then we can put Hestia and Hades on the council.
Yeah, we have more spots.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. There we go. Dionysus is happy that his son is alive. Yay!
Yeah, Percy kept his promise. So, like, you know.
And guess what? Dionysus' sentence has gone down. He's only going to be around for 50 more years at camp. Just Percy's lifetime.
Yeah, just enough to reward Dionysus, but also make sure he's still around to fuck with Percy.
Exactly.
And he's saying his name correctly.
And he calls Percy by his real name. Yeah. Jackson.
We love that.
Grover is having emotional times because, like, literally so many people died.
It's like, I led them into a slaughter. Will they ever trust me? Like, bro, you care about the wild. Pan gave you, like, his blessing and his powers and all that shit. War
sucks. You gotta just do the best you can. You can't blame yourself for the things that happen.
Yeah, the best you can do is not always the best outcome, but it was the best you could do.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tyson's alive! Yay! We love Tyson. He's cool.
We chained Typhon. It was fun.
He's the bravest Cyclops. Grover doesn't want anyone to eat him.
I love that line so much.
They all give Tyson some cheers. I'm really glad for him. You know? Yeah. Everybody's so into Tyson, and they should be, because he's the best.
He's the best. And then, hey, look what? It's Daddy Poseidon right here. He's gonna give Percy the first ever hug. This is...
And he's, like, tearing up a little bit, because he's like, damn, a hug for my dad.
Wow.
That hits for me. I feel that.
You know what? Maybe that's what Percy should have said. Like, you all have to hug your children at least once. It's your requirement. So you pay your child support. Recognize your child and hug them.
Children need to be hugged. Anyways.
Poseidon is trying to, like, praise Percy, be like, wow, you're even greater than Hercules. And then Zeus is just like, hey, shut the fuck up. Come sit at the council. Like,
Zeus is like, don't you dare.
Before you say something about my favorite son. Yay, it's council time. I love the idea that Nico is just sitting, like, at his dad's feet.
I love that so much.
Mm-hmm. Listen, they still have, like, the best relationship.
They do. Because they're both outcasts. They've both been outcasts through the series, and it's kind of like they've
finally learning to, like, to appreciate each other for that. Like, if you're the only person you gotta stick together. Relationships
to each other
between demigods and gods are so interesting to me, because they are inherently unequal. You know, they're never gonna be equal. You're never gonna grow up and, like, have your parent acknowledge you as an equal the way that, like, you hope that they do with human parents.
Well, and it's not only that, but it's also, like, you grow up with, like, you have so little time and knowledge of them as a being.
Mm-hmm.
It's like your knowledge and ideas of your godly parent are mostly based on, stories and the myths and what you've been told by others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, it's time for the council. See if anyone's gonna kill them or not. Remember the last time they said at a council and the gods were like, "Oh, should we kill these heroes?"
That was the chapter title. Something about the gods vote to kill us.
Yeah. I fucking love the line line here where Annabeth shows back up from being treated, and she says, "Miss me?" And Percy says, "Nobody's planning to kill us so far." And she says, "First time today." And Percy just cracks the fuck up. I love that. It's so good.
And then, of course, Hare's paying attention to them instead of paying attention to Zeus talking.
Because she wants to kill them still.
She's probably sick of Zeus talking, too.
Or maybe she's plotting some other shit. Who knows?
Hera, get the fuck out of here.
Fuck Hera.
So Zeus is like, "Thank you, Poseidon." What was that? Thank you, Poseidon!
It's like he struggles to thank Hades, but gets it out the first time. And Hades is just like, "Okay, you've said something. We'll start there." And then he goes to thank Poseidon, and Poseidon's like, "Excuse me,
Poseidon has to be a little shit about it. I love that.
Listen, Zeus having to thank either of his brothers, whom he hates so much. Wild.
Having to thank either of them is bad enough, but both is just a gut punch for him, I'm sure, which he fucking deserves.
When he thanks Hades gives Nico a little pat on the shoulder, and I'm emotional about that also.
Nico looked happier than I'd ever seen him. My sweet boy. My sweet boy.
Just kill me now.
Because Nico was just like, "Hey, Dad, we gotta get in this fight. We gotta get in it." And so he's like, "Okay, I guess you're right."
And then it fucking worked out. Yeah. Yeah, Nico is an important advisor to his father now. So, like, good for him.
I love that. So Thalia is called forth first because that's Zeus's kid, and she's gonna get the first praise.
He's gonna help her get new hunters because so many of them fucking died.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Dead kids is fine.
They'll be replaced.
It's okay because they didn't have names, so we don't know them.
Yeah, it's fine for us, the reader.
Yeah, I wonder if Phoebe's still alive. She's the only other hunter we know that was alive before.
Yeah, really.
So Hades is gonna streamline their application for Olympus.
Is
there an application process? I thought they just got
Of course
judged.
there is.
It's so funny. And now it's Tyson's turn. He's gonna be a general. Isn't that cool? And then he gets whatever weapon that he so desires. A stick!
The best stick that may be found.
Thank you, club. Zeus. Like, he's helping out.
Will he get a celestial bronze club?
That'd be pretty fucking cool.
That'd be awesome. I would love to see a bronze stick.
The head of a monster, and it just, like, dies.
Dies from a concussion.
You club it in the balls, and then it dies.
It's interesting to me that Zeus gives Tyson his reward, but after that, everybody else's actual parents are the ones who talk to them, or like the person in charge of them, because Dionysus talks to Grover next.
Yeah. I would change that.
Is it because Zeus is like Zeus in charge of the armies of Olympus?
He specifically says he leads the...
He's just a general.
He leads the Cyclopes, and he's a general in the armies of Olympus, not the army of Poseidon. So I don't know. Yeah,
that's kind of that would be my only thought. Is that I guess Zeus would want to be in charge of the Olympus army.
Maybe Zeus was just like, "I'm gonna lead this whole meeting," and then Dionysus was like, "Nope, this one is mine. Let me do that." And Venus
my boy.
"Nope, this one is mine. Let me do that." And then Zeus is like, "Okay, I'm gonna judge Percy Jackson. Okay."
But Poseidon's the one who starts that, so like I think that actually Rick just wanted to save Poseidon talking in the meeting for Percy because he's a special boy.
But like Tyson had to be done like earlier because Percy last.
Of course.
And Annabeth
it's all for the drama.
You have to do the three of them last, of course.
Yeah. So Dionysus is like, "Hey Grover, blah blah blah, blah blah blah.
Stop chewing your shirt."
Council member or whatever, I guess. And then Grover's collapses. Dionysus is like, "Okay, just when he wakes up, just tell him he's a Lord of the Wilds."
Dionysus, tsundere as fuck. You can tell he's proud of Grover. He would never admit it.
Nope. Grover is carried away by beautiful nymphs, and he's yelling "food" as he does.
One last food joke.
as always. So, Athena calls forth Annabeth. Oh, you're so awesome, Annabeth. We could like rebuild Olympus, like whatever, like we just rebuild this throne room. But like, could you do it instead? Could you design us some beautiful shit?
She literally says that the place has been ... well trashed, which I love that she's using.
It's such a modern
the chapter
phrase.
Title terminology. Yeah.
Hey, that's what the last chapter was. We trashed the Eternal City.
And she's like, yep, you sure did.
it be trashed.
Yeah. As soon as I saw that chapter title, I'm just like, oh, the Instagram post, the song I'm going to use is definitely Trash in the Camp.
I love that Athena is the one giving this one out too, because I feel like this is such a, like, for the gods, this is such a well thought out gift, because Annabeth will love it. And it makes it so that the Olympians don't have to fix it and repair it themselves.
Hey.
I was like, this was absolutely thought out.
But could you do it better?
Yeah.
Show us that you could do it better than us.
This is everything Annabeth has ever wanted. This is everything she told us she wanted. She wanted to design a city that would outlast the gods themselves.
It's her grand plan.
And then, yeah, Apollo, Aphrodite, and Ares all want statues of them, because they're all so hot, I guess.
Yeah, you know that when she's drawing up her plans, like, people are gonna be, like, bursting in, like, constantly, like, hey, Annabeth.
Can you have a statue of me, like, looking like this? Like, looking like this? One like there, over there. And she'll just be like, I have plans. Don't crowd me.
Honestly, this planning is gonna be a nightmare, but good for her.
And then we have Percy Jackson, as Poseidon, like, bellows out.
Because he wants everybody to pay attention to his specialist boy.
The specialist of boys. We got to notice that Hestia's in the middle, and she's just, like, by the fire, and this is the last we see of her here. So sad. Percy will get a gift. But we all know what you want. You want immortality. Of course.
Obviously.
It's been a while since we gave godhood to anyone, so we're gonna give you this godhood. You can serve as your father's lieutenant or whatever, I guess. For all time. And Percy's like, what?
And Ares like, I could beat him up over and over. Sounds good to me.
And Athena approves? Yeah. Because she's looking at Annabeth like, I'd get her away from this boy. They can also make demigod children, you know.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know that giving someone godhood is a good way to get them away from somebody they want to get with.
What if Percy made Annabeth a god too? Like, there are ways.
It does make me wonder, like, I look at this, I read this, I'm like, if Athena had not looked at Annabeth, would Percy have looked back? I feel like he would have eventually, but I don't know.
I think Percy would have looked back. Knowing Percy Jackson, as I do, I think Percy always looks back.
It literally is the scene from Disney Hercules, where he, like, looks back at Meg, and... Except, okay, so differences between Hercules, Disney, and this scene. Meg looks sad but resigned. She is ready for her boy to, like, take on this, like, honor that he has received.
Because he's been wanting it this whole time, and she knew that that was, like, what he wanted. What he was going for.
And he finally, like, gives up on that dream because he's found, like, a better dream of mortality and, like, true love and stuff. You know, yeah. Here, Annabeth is not resigned. Annabeth is horrified. She's like, wait, fuck, don't do that.
Yeah, he remembers back to when he thought she was going to be a hunter.
Yes,
I think
I love
the
that.
key. That's the key thing, is Percy was like, oh, I know exactly how she feels because I felt that way.
But I don't think that Percy was ever really gonna go for this. Like, he's tempted for a second, but, like, he's already got a fucking plan. You know he's been thinking about this shit because it is so well drafted when he says it. Like, Percy has been thinking about this.
Yeah, I think he didn't know if he would be able to, like, force the gods to agree to it, but he was certainly planning to bring it up. And so this was the perfect opportunity to not only bring it up, but force them to abide by it.
Right.
I mean, I also feel like in many of the books, not just like what Percy's plan is, but also the faults of immortality have been brought up so many times in the books.
Mhm.
Like, take Eurydion in the Battle of the Labyrinth. He got immortality, and
he's like, man, this
and he was like,
sucks.
dude, this sucks.
I have to like sit here on this ranch with Garyon forever, and that's my fate. We're, I guess, tied together, and that's how it is. I hate it. But I guess I can make this better.
Or Procrustes, who's, like, monster adjacent at this point, because he's just, like, doing the same shit forever and ever.
Yeah, immortality sucks. Don't do it, guys. How about
Would
that?
not 0 out of 10. Would not recommend.
Unless I'm a vampire. That's different.
He specifically says he could be powerful and immortal and serve his father for eternity. And, like,
You want that?
he wants to have a relationship with his
He
dad.
does.
And if he took this, he could have a closer relationship with his dad.
But what about his mom?
What about his mom? What about
He doesn't
Annabeth?
even-
Yeah.
He doesn't even think about Sally, and that's
That's the part that gets me the most. I was like, there's this paragraph where he thinks about Annabeth, his friends, the people who died.
He doesn't
He
mention
never
his
thinks
mom,
about his
yeah.
mom.
It's like, I mean, I guess that she has, like, a new life going on right now.
And Percy,
that, like,
at this point, like, he is only, like, 16, but he's kind of flown the nest, He's moving on with his life. He's an adult.
I guess he could be like, no, like, she's, like, happy now, and she's, like, got, like, a new beau, like, whatever, She doesn't need me anymore.
Yeah. Like, at this point, he's gonna be, like, visiting home rather than living there, and he could do that as a half-deity also, as a deity, a minor god.
Yeah, but, so Percy's like, nah, I don't want this. Your
Yeah.
generous gift. What? No. I don't want to peak in my sophomore year.
I love that for him. Percy, you're so funny.
We love him. And then Annabeth is like,
And I was like tearing up at him. She's so proud
Yeah.
of him.
yeah, she's gonna cry. And he's so happy about that.
And the
Like,
gods
oh.
are all just, like, pissed, but he's like, but you still would give me a present, though, right? I can pick one?
You promised me a present. You assumed what it was going to be,
Mhm.
but I don't want that. Can you give me something else? Perhaps. But you need to, promise on the river Styx.
You need to give me a little pinky swear.
Dionysus is the one who's like, you don't trust us? And I'm like, no, I don't trust you, Dionysus.
You're
Like, we
the
love
worst
you.
one to ask about trust.
We love you, but we don't trust you.
I know you're a little
yeah.
rascal.
So, they swear to grant his reasonable request as long as it is within their power. And if only is, they complain about it, but it's fully within their power.
And Percy's like, it's gonna be easy. Don't even worry about it.
Just recognize your kids. Pay your child support. You're deadbeats. Fuck you.
Literally. This is the most important scene in Percy Jackson. Because Percy, as a person, does not just defend the status quo. Percy says, your system is broken, and that's why all this shit happened, and we are going to take steps to fix that.
I think that's the biggest thing that gets them to agree, too, is because he's able to put the argument together and point out that you need to do this, not necessarily because it's the right thing to do for your fucking children. Put that aside, it's the reason that you had this whole war.
You almost got destroyed over this shit. How about you don't do it again? Okay? Claim your
Might be
kids
smart.
by the time they turn 13. That is your cutoff point, okay? They will go to camp. We're gonna respect the minor gods and all of their children too. They're gonna get cabins at Camp Half-Blood. I feel like this is rushed over, but like the
Calypso
Titans
and the
who are
Peaceful Titans.
let them go. Like, it's one sentence in this, and I feel like it's kind of rushed over.
Yeah.
I think that's the nature of like how Percy's just trying to get it all out.
Mm-hmm,
He's like, I'm getting it all out before you stop me.
That's kind of like the footnote in like a bill that you're like passing. You're like, also this other thing, and I hope nobody notices.
Like, how about this? Respect everyone who did not try to kill you. How about that? Respect everyone who didn't try to kill you.
You can chain Prometheus to another rock for a little while. That's fine, but Calypso didn't do shit. So
maybe some other demigod will free him when it's time, but right now, like, he deserves it. And then he gets to Hades, and Hades like, am I a minor god? Excuse me? It's like, no, that's you're not respected. You've been outcast. You and Nico, you know that. You get a cabin too. You get cabin 13.
Finally, you are now valid.
I am vindicated. Waha! There's no more unclaimed demigods. No one shall be crammed in the Hermes cabin anymore.
Also, he's like, no more Pact of the Big Three, which I think is so funny. He's like, I know you can't keep it in your pants, so don't even tell me.
Yeah, you can't.
Don't lie to me.
You can't control yourselves because look at the past 50 years where you didn't.
Like, Dad, I know you want to have more kids. Go ahead. Go forth and fuck.
But, like, tell me when you do, because I'm gonna, like, my little siblings, I'm gonna take care of them.
Percy will adopt them all.
Yeah, he doesn't want anybody to feel the way that he felt at arriving at camp. He doesn't want anyone to feel the way that Nico felt at camp. He wants people to feel like they belong, and I love him so much. Percy?
The best part of this, the best part to me, is that Athena backs him the fuck up. Yo!
Because Percy is really doing this for the demigods. He is like, you're gonna treat them better because it's the right thing to do, but also, tactically, you gots to. And Athena's like, yeah.
This was such a well thought out argument from Percy, because he was pointing out all the real reasons they need to do it for the demigods, but also throwing in a reason that will make the gods agree. And that is that you guys fucked it up and it messed you up. It put you at risk.
So I love this moment. Percy, Poseidon said, you ask much, you presume much. And Percy doesn't even acknowledge that. He says,
flinch.
I hold you to your oath, all of you. Percy! The power of this boy!
My boy has a spine.
Percy says, I know that I am calling you out, and I'm doing it. I'm doing it right now. You're gonna do it.
And then when they all in favor, they all raise their hands, and he just says, thanks.
Yay! And then Tyson's like, all hail Percy, your hero of Olympus. Hey, wink, 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 nudge, nudge. And my big brother! Yay! Yay!
The more important part.
Percy being the kind of guy who doesn't cow to authority from book 1 is coming around to really pay off here. This series is about broken-ass families and a system that encourages them to stay broken. And Percy says, no, we're not doing that no more.
We can always try and be better.
I challenge you as people to be better. We're coming up to your fucking aunts and uncles and shitty ass cousins and tell them, hey,
be better. You're
gonna be better for your kids. Yeah. I'm so insane about this. I can't be normal.
How could you? How could you fucking be normal?
And it's such a, this whole chapter, the whole series, but especially this chapter, it's it does such a great job of driving home the point in a way that is going to be readable and understandable for a younger audience. He makes this huge, important point in a way that children can understand and take away.
And we have been talking about it, the whole series, and especially, hammering home the point in this book with Ethan, and with Percy thinking constantly about the demigods who are on the other side, and, sympathizing with them, and wanting better for them, and saying, we're not doing this anymore. It's just so amazing to me that, Percy was handed the power to do this, but it's only because of his actions beforehand that, led him to this point where he can make these demands. And he's one of my favorite heroes in literature ever. I love him. Anyways.
Thank you, Rick, for writing a main character that everyone actually, loves. It's so hard to do that, I feel.
Yeah.
Actually.
Percy, I don't know. I don't know, people have called him, like, an almost self-insert, like, Gary Stu, like, but I feel like you compare him to, you know, Harry Potter, and Percy does feel like a more well-defined person who, I don't know, in my fanfictions, Percy is more consistent than most of the, like, main character blorbos usually end up being, because he actually has, like, a character.
Percy is a real person. Like, he's not like like, he doesn't have fantastical elements about him or like weird character pieces about him that change or adjust as needed for the story. It's just that you've got this person, they have their flaws, and their flaws influence their decision making and the story as a whole, and that doesn't change. He's
a hugely powerful chosen one, but he's not a blank slate. He's a person who's doing the best that he can with what he is given.
He's just a person.
Percyson. I think we have to end the
Jesus
podcast
Christ.
now.
Well, Matt, thank you so much for being here, our wonderful patron to the gods, if you will, to the eldest gods.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me on. Thanks for letting me claim the chapter.
You deserve it.
You deserve the fabulous prizes that you've been given.
Recognition from my father.
Yeah, that really is the beginning of the fabulous prizes, getting a hug from your dad.
Wow, I got a hug from my dad. That's all I needed. Would you like to be found on the internet?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at Shaman Nomo. I'm in the Discord, lurking.
Always lurking.
Always lurking.
Always there. And you have a media plug for us.
I do. It's very funny because it came up in the Wikipedia article. I had been planning this already. I am plugging God of War, the video game.
Oh, nice!
Amazing.
I love that.
I know almost nothing about it, but
the only problem, I went back and forth on this plug for a while because the original trilogy, which is the God of War in Greek with the Greek gods, are older. So you have to have to find an older system to play them. Is the problem? They're PlayStation 2 and 3, but the new ones with the Norse mythology, that's PlayStation 4 and 5. So those are a little more accessible. But they're all good. They're all fun. Great story. Dad trying his best.
Good shit. I assume he's not actually the child of Styx in that series.
No.
Aw.
Too bad. Oh well. Plug. So I went to Anime Boston recently, so I gotta plug me some anime.
Good.
Yes.
My mom and I watched a whole anime in the span of a day. It was only like 13 episodes. But we watched this cute little thing. It's called Buddy Daddies. If you've seen Spy Family or have heard of it, it's very similar in the fact that we got like a forced family situation, and they're raising a small child, a little girl, and they're both assassins.
Oh, that's fun.
Huh. Well,
I love that.
That's fun. So like she was sent to live with her dad. She goes to get to her dad, and then guess what? They are the assassins that kill her father.
Damn.
And
Shit. Wow.
It's fine. It's fine. He tried to hold the child up, to be like, hey, I'll shoot her if you guys don't leave me alone, because he had no idea who she was. That's your spoiler of like the first episode, that he's actually a shitty dad too.
Okay, well, good.
Yeah, he was like a human trafficker or some shit. They killed him.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Good.
We killed him. We steal the child. We raise her, and look at them. They're like, they have trauma, and they raise this little girl, and it's so good.
Is this a drama or like a comedy? Like, does it have the energy of Spy Family, or
it has like the energy of Spy Family? Is like, it feels very like slice of life with like the things that they're going through to get to figure out how to take care of this child. They're like, oh, we got to figure out how to get her into daycare. Because we also have like our jobs that we need to like provide for her. Like, we put off our assassin gig for a while because we had a child that we were trying to figure out how to take care of. Oh no, we gotta go do that because we're running out of money. Like, we need to like have her in care somewhere. And then they're also getting through like their family trauma. Like one of them has a really awful dad who like trained him to be an assassin. And the other one lost his pregnant wife during one of his assassin gigs. She got blown up. It's sad. It's good show, and it's not gay, which is very sad.
It could be in my fanfictions though, in my brain.
No, they're just roommates.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And us like assassin partners, but for some reason there is like no romantic things happening with them, and I'm just like, excuse you. That is my plug.
It sounds to me like something LGBT should be happening there. Personally,
it really does. It really does. Yeah, I enjoyed it. And I watched it because they were in the cosplay deathmatch at Anime Boston. Sadly, they lost to Brock from Pokemon, who was this cute little child.
Oh.
Like, literally, he was just too cute, and that's why he won. So he got to murder Buddy Daddies in cosplay deathmatch. It was great.
Nice.
What's your plug?
I figured out what I wanted to say. I think that maybe I've talked about this guy before, but if I haven't, Jacob Geller is a YouTuber who talks mostly about video games, but like when he's doing a topic, he will bring in like other sources, sometimes short stories or literature, or like whatever. He does a very good job. Teddy thinks that he's pretentious, but like don't listen to them. Anyways, I was thinking about him because he's one of the only YouTubers who I've seen who prefers the original God of War games to like the more modern ones. And he made a video about he has a video called Why God of War Challenged Fate, Then Did It Again, that I would recommend very highly. He's very cool. Sometimes I cry when I watch his videos because he like gets deep with it, so yeah, highly recommended. Jacob Geller.
Good shit.
Love that. I'll watch that, definitely.
Yeah, he's like the only person I've seen talking about the original games, so that's why I was thinking about it.
I said they were good. The originals were good, but then the Norse ones they like completely redid how they were doing the series. So that's why like a lot of people just love how they've changed it and made it more narrative.
And he's like, I don't need more sad dad stories. Give me killing Fate. Fate itself.
Just kill those 3 old ladies.
Charlie, release us from this mortal coil.
Free
my thread.
I'm waiting for you to murder me because I'm still sick. And
no!
that's the way to keep me from my sickness. But I guess I could cut your life string first. Get out of my fucking cabin so I can give you some fabulous prizes. Hey, guess what? I'm gonna give you all of the Robin comics forever.
Aw, that's so sweet. I think I maybe need to get out of your cabin because we're renovating right now. We have to build it in the first place. It doesn't even exist yet.
Yeah, it kind of does need to
cabin.
exist. The coffins are gonna go over there, and then we're gonna have like some burning fire. It's gonna be like
that'll look real
rainbow
nice.
Colors. Lots of skulls all over the walls.
You're making me think of Hades. Like we're spending all of our gemstones to like make the place look so cute.
Yes. That's exactly it.
And the gemstones. Build me the House of Hades.
Hell yeah. Okay, bye.
Bye.
A huge thank you to Matt for joining us on this episode, and for supporting us on Patreon at the God Complex level. You can follow this podcast socials at Of the Eldest Gods Pod on Instagram and Tumblr, and at Of the Eldest Gods on Twitter. You can send us an iris message through oftheeldestgodspod@gmail.com. If you'd like to support us financially, join us at patreon.com/oftheeldestgods. By becoming a patron, you can join the Deus Ex Media Discord server, where you'll be able to chat with us and other listeners about episodes and anything Percy Jackson related. Our $5 patron tier also gets you access to Against All Odds, our monthly bonus show. There, we'll talk about a wide variety of topics, which usually have something to do with mythology. No promises. You can check out our merch store on Redbubble to find custom designs made by Charlie. Or if you cannot or do not want to support us financially, we'd really appreciate a rating, a review, or letting your friends and followers know how much you love the podcast. That really helps. You can find me, Raye, at HeyHeyRaye, spelled R-A-Y-E, on Twitter. If you want to hear more from me, check out Barbie Movie Slap, a podcast where my co-host Ted and I discuss Barbie's cinematic universe. That podcast Twitter is at Barbie Slaps.
And you can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms, but on Twitter I'm at GreenPixie123, which I'm totally not salty about. I also have an art Instagram at GreenPixieDraws. I sometimes do the YouTube thing on my channel, Charlie Mac. That's M-A-C-K. Our music was written by Isabel Strauss-Riggs and recorded and edited by Ian M. Riggs. You can find Izzy at Kane_I, that's I as in the body part, on Instagram and Twitter. She also currently makes video essays on the YouTube channel Kane I. Feel free to message her about making music for your project or editing your podcast. Of the Eldest Gods is proud to be a part of Deus Ex Media, which features great podcasts like My Cabbages, an Avatar podcast that follows the true hero of the Avatar The Last Airbender series, the Cabbage Cart Guy.
Coffee, tea, honor, cabbage. Long ago, the four elements lived in harmony. Then, shit went totally cray when the Avatar attacked. Only the Cabbage Man, merchant of fine cruciferous vegetables, could stand against his trolling. But when the world needed some dank veg, he vanished. 10 years have passed, and my partner and I have started a new podcast.
My Cabbages! An Avatar podcast.
A weekly show about Avatar The Last Airbender. Whether it's Sokka's new line of cologne.
Hey, look at you, sitting there on a seal. Well, now look back at me. I'm on an even bigger seal. Now look away.
D&D related antics.
You have to make an acrobatics check for that, and Aang just unzips his pants and whips out his D20s. He's just like, I got this.
Or randomly breaking into song.
Go bending waterfall.
We'll stumble our way through the greatest show ever made, one episode at a time.
You can reach us at CabbageCast, which is our Twitter, or
subscribe wherever you catch pod.
Rotten cabbages? What kind of slum do you think this is?
Of the Eldest Gods is based on the series by Rick Riordan. Right now, we are discussing Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Remember to follow us on your favorite podcatcher and meet us back here every Thursday.
Matt, you better know your cabin or you'll be kicked out.
Raye will
You
disown
always
me.
tell people that. I forget things. Be kind.
It's been so many seasons of this podcast. We can only start forgetting where we belong next season when it all changes, okay?
God, I'm so
time.
excited.
Deus Ex Media.